Welcome to the Fringe series with Kyle and Owen from KO Media.
Today we are interviewing Craig Hill.
We're
really happy that we're getting to talk to you.
You know when you expect one and you get two?
Oh, yeah. It's always a happy.
This is what's happened to me. Am I fine? Can you see me? You know when you one of these cameras, you always look. You're supposed to look there, but I want to look at you, and my instincts to look there. Is it better if I look at you or there?
Whatever is more comfortable for yourself.
Exactly that.
Well, I'll be more comfortable looking at you too.
That makes us happy. Now we can go. That's all the effort I need to do. That's
look at your faces. You've just got adorable faces. All I want in life is people that smile and you're smiling.
I'm trying to work on a better smile, actually. I've heard I don't have a showbiz smile because I tend to smirk. I go to one side. So I'm trying to focus on opening my whole mouth. So I'm like, and it feels so unnatural, but I'm trying to get better at it.
Yeah, I think I over smile. Like I've got used to doing that. And
that's a good smile. I like it.
Well, one should know one's good side.
Yeah.
Are we recording already?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is gold content.
Yes, exactly that.
Oh, this is lovely. Now the public know how much I adore your faces.
That's the interview might not. It might just be you giving us compliments for a couple of minutes.
Life is really simple. You just want to meet smiley people. And if I was on stage and you were in the audience, I go, well, there's an audience.
Well, you'll be on stage and we will be in the audience at some point. So.
Oh, you're frozen.
Oh no.
Oh my God, you're frozen. Oh, how awful for everyone.
Did we pause in a good zone though?
Oh, did you notice that you froze there? No.
No.
Oh, you completely froze. It was like what you wouldn't want on stage. You know when you say it loud, you think it's funny, and then you get this.
Yep.
That's what happened. I panicked.
Don't worry, you definitely hear us laughing all the time. We're big fans, and that's why we're really excited to do this today. So.
Well, I'm excited. Have you been to any of the stuff that I've done in Fife?
Not in Fife. I tend to wait until you're at the Fringe, and I spend too much money at the Fringe. I think I've seen you twice there. So.
Oh, good. That's not too much money. That's good. But I'm the same. I try and choose who I'm going to see in advance of the Fringe because I've only got 4 nights off. So I have to read that person, whoever they are, is like gold dust to me because I have to choose it. This year, I already know who it is. Shall I share?
Oh, yeah. Definitely do.
Skank Sinatra.
Oh, yes.
I was intrigued by this drag queen who apparently is a cabaret performer who won lots of awards in Adelaide. And I know Adelaide's a really good cabaret festival. So I thought, you wouldn't win that award unless you'd done a fun show. So I booked that already. And of course, Gary Starr, who I absolutely love. Him and Classic Penguins.
Nice. I'm adding Skank Sinatra to the list now. I hadn't come across them.
And by the way, good names. I just had this conversation this morning with a couple of friends saying the Fringe is all about good names. Like last year, I booked a ticket for this girl who actually got nominated as well. But she, I went to see her show because her poster, she had huge hair, and it was called. I'm going to give her an accent. Her show was called "Make Me Look Fit on the Poster." And I thought "Make Me Look Fit in the Poster" was such a brilliant title.
Yeah. I love it.
That was Georgie, by the way, just in case she didn't get it.
Oh, no, it was good. One of my favourite names this year is a gent you'll know well is War in Progress.
Mm-hmm. Oh, isn't that good?
It's brilliant. I go see Gareth every year, and because he's had such a busy year, it's so good.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? And what's great is, I've got to the point where I can't call my show anything other than a double entendre because that's what people expect now. So, yeah, this year's Wait Till You See My Entrance. I thought, well, your entrance better not disappoint, Craig. It better be quite an entrance.
I mean, if you come in on such high energy with Wait Till You See My Entrance, how are you going to follow that up?
Well, my problem is that's the story of my whole life. I always come in with high energy from the beginning. I mean, I always say my show starts there and it stays there for the full hour. You just commit to the roller coaster that is the Fringe, and I love it. I think that's why people come to see me, because they like the energy of it. And if you've seen it before, there's such an unpredictability about it, because I really, I've got my stories, I've got my stuff, I don't care what order they're in, I can change it all around, but it's about you in the audience. If we can have fun and make that show unique for that night, I think audiences like that better than that's the bit that gets the biggest laugh. Is the bit where you don't know how the people are going to engage with the audience. I love that energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. I much prefer a show that makes me feel good than the performer get his story out.
Yep, agreed.
Yes, and it's about being entertained.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of shows on. And I just think, well, you've spent money. So, and it's a very Scottish ethos. You spent money, do your job.
Yeah.
Entertain them. Or as they say in Five, dinna be shy.
Very much so. Very much so.
It's true, isn't it? Your job is to entertain.
Yeah.
So I go on, like I warm up a lot before my shows so that I'm kind of as sharp as I possibly can be. Because, that's how you end up kind of coming away with, finding amazing people in the audience and often those turn into stories as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what is big on social media now is audience interaction, because you don't want to ruin your set. You have to get the audience interaction.
Yeah, I started. I noticed that. I thought the young like the TikTok, and I was watching. I thought, God, all these things are all the things I do on stage, but I don't film them. So we started filming them because there are so many moments in my show which are completely off the cuff, and they're perfect for TikTok because they probably won't happen again.
Yeah.
Except for when someone says their name. I said, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Neil." And I go, "Christ, it's a bit early for that, is it not?" And then I literally, and that happens every time. And they go, "God, he's like a genius." And you're like, "Well, once that happens once,
you've got it in the bag. And it
gets a laugh. Everybody called Neil. That will happen again." So if you're in the audience and you don't want to tell me your real name, say Neil.
Well, we'll keep that in the bag for when we come to see you.
Yeah.
When we come to see you, so we're going to have some official questions now that we've had a warm-up, a bit of patter. Your show has been described as hilariously cheeky and riotously effervescent. How do you balance the cheek with the family-friendly?
That's a good question. I think family-friendly. I mean, you wouldn't bring anyone under 16, I don't think. And my feeling about it is if people do bring somebody under 16, it's usually because they've got a good relationship with their kids and the kids have heard absolutely everything. So I deliberately go there so we can set the tone. So mum and dad go, oh, that is happening. He's not avoiding it because it's really important. But you don't. It is normally a family that are quite fun that do that. It's not a nervous family who bring their kids. No. They normally go, "Oh Christ, the kids have seen everything." So so it's family friendly in that. Well, it's not family friendly, but it's family friendly in that the right family show up to see it. I think it's a good question, the cheek thing, because it's really important that if you're just a little bit cheeky and funny, but not rude and not crude and not, you would never hurt anyone's feelings. You would never do that. Why would you? It's just cruel. So it's really important that the audience like you. They trust you and they warm to you, and then they know the whole thing is a game. Whereas if they didn't think you were a nice person, the cheek would be too cheeky. It would be, you don't want to go to a show and feel crap. You want to have a laugh. So I think in my case, I play with that line as much as you can play with that line, and that's what I think people like to just go, "Oh, you did not." You go, "I just did." And I do think there's things as a gay man you can kind of say that you think they know that's a joke. If I said this, if I was a straight guy and I said that, they might take it seriously. Whereas they take me with a pinch of salt, I think a wee bit.
I think some of the things...
Especially when I'm being...
Oh, no, continue.
I'm saying especially when I'm being a bit saucy.
Yeah, well, that's what I was actually going to say. That is like when I've seen you really are an expert at knowing when you're at that line to make someone comfortable laughing at the kind of ribbon you're giving and knowing when to pull back.
Yeah, nice use of the word ribbing you're giving.
Yeah.
But
that's free. You can have that.
Well done. But no, you're absolutely right, because the reason that's funny is because it's exactly what you're doing. You're absolutely going, how far can we go? And I'll deliberately go, right, I'll go with Granny first. I'll check Granny's all right. If Granny's all right, the whole audience is all right. And usually Grannies have a very bawdy sense of humour. And it's interesting because audiences take their lead from other people. So if they see other people laughing, they go, "Oh, this is fine, we can laugh." So yeah, I think you're right. I think the reason it's funny is because you're deliberately playing with that line. You're deliberately going, how far can we go that's not too far? And as long as you don't go too far, then it's just all fun and saucy.
Do you talk about audience participation there, just who can get away with what? what's the most, say, unexpected or memorable audience interaction you've had?
Oh God, some of them are just a bit surreal. I mean, some of them are a bit like, oh my God, that's a heckle. Weird. Well, actually, I think the weirdest one, if I'm being honest, I was in Australia and there was a guy in the audience and he was Scottish and gay. And I just jokingly said, oh, look at you, you're Scottish and gay. I'm Scottish and gay. We probably know each other. And he went, oh, aye. We know each other. And I was like, no way. I was like, oh my God, please don't tell me. And much to my shame, I couldn't remember if we did or not. And I was really like, I don't know if I do know him. And he insisted we did, and I insisted we didn't. And to this day, I'm not sure if he was joking, but he might not have been. But it was that. See, when the audience love that. See, when somebody in the audience gets one up on you and they go, oh, we gay guys caught it. He didn't know. He didn't know. That's what I love. I love that. And you should give the audience that status.
Yes.
When they get that moment, just bow to it and just go, look at you lot, oh, chuffed with yourself because the wee guy got me. So you should recognise that.
There's also something about, and I don't know if you're both well-travelled humans as well, there's something about being Scottish. You find someone you know wherever you are on the planet. Yeah. I was in the middle of Dubai, floating down a lazy river at the Palm Resort, and this guy that I served like years ago in a store regularly was there, floating like 2 meters away from me, and we had a conversation. And I was just the most surreal time of my life.
I know, it is strange. I remember going to South Africa, and is it called the Cape of Good Hope or something? Or what's the one in Scotland? What's that one called? Cape something. Can't remember.
Yeah.
But there's one Cape Wrath, the Grapes of Wrath. I think it's called the Cape of Good Hope. Anyway, it's like the most southerly point in Africa or something. And I was standing there just thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. Imagine being this like the end of the world. And I was standing there, and then this Australian guy went, are you Craig Hale? I was like, oh my God, how did that happen? And he had just seen me in Sydney a couple of weeks before, but you just didn't expect to be in South Africa and have someone who'd been in your audience see you before. And it does happen. You're right, it happens with Scottish people. Like, I had somebody who wrote to me and said we were related. And I was like, oh, are we really? And I thought, he's a stalker, I don't know about him. And I remember phoning my cousin.
You have to check.
I phoned my cousin and it made me laugh so much. I phoned my cousin in Cumbernauld, and I said, this guy's written to me. And he said, my granddad and his granddad were brothers. And my cousin went, your granddad didn't have a brother? He's talking shite. He's just making it up. And she went, oh, wait a minute. He did. His name is David. In the same breath. And I went all the way to Canberra, and that guy was related. He was his granddad and my granddad were brothers. So that was an amazing thing to happen. To go all the way to Australia and meet a relative. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, some of these moments are amazing. I love it. And it's nice when you're traveling, because what I think a lot of people don't realize is, when you're doing the Edinburgh Fringe, if you do Melbourne or Sydney or Perth, it's all the same comedians. So people don't realize we're all over there catching up with each other going, and it's so much fun just going, there's your Scottish pals here in Adelaide. And this year I'm going to host the Scottish Highland Games in Kuala Lumpur. I'll just repeat that sentence. I'm going to host the Scottish Highland Games in Kuala Lumpur, which I did last year as well. And it's amazing because you go there and they're all Scottish.
Well, funny you should say that. My mum is from Kuala Lumpur.
Really?
Yeah.
She'd probably been to the games then, because all the Scottish.
Probably.
It's called the Salangor St Andrews Society, and it's everyone in Kuala Lumpur who's Scottish. There must be a big community. I think it's to do with oil. I think a lot of people from Scotland have moved over there because they work in oil, and it's a huge event. And it's good fun. I've had to learn a lot about tossing the caper. I know you don't believe me, but I have. I've had to learn all the rules because I have to talk people through it live. And it's such an interesting job to do. It's a bit like stand-up comedy, but you're just hosting. It's good fun.
It's definitely one we'll check out one day when we're travelling.
Oh, when we start making some money doing this, then we'll be all over. It's fine.
Yes, and don't do what I did. Don't go out in a tropical rainstorm in a pink Chinese silk kilt because it shrinks.
That is good advice. It does sound like something I would do.
And my leather boots, never been the same. Tropical storms and Scottish people shouldn't go together.
No, definitely not.
We're not built for that. We're built for the cold and the hardships.
But it is lovely to be outside in hot. Can you imagine hot rain? That's all that is. We've never had hot rain.
No.
One day. One day.
I can take a pelter if it's hot. Do you know, I don't mind pelting rain if I'm standing there going, oh, I just couldn't see the problem with being in the rain because it was so hot.
I was glad you confirmed that there, so.
Yes, I did actually. I saw your face as I said that, and I thought he's read more into that than I have.
That's a problem I have. I keep pushing it onto other people.
Well, it's very rare that the audience get more saucy than me.
Give me a couple of minutes and it'll keep going. So.
My last partner said that.
So, on the note of the sauciness, you've offered BSL performances.
Yes.
What led to this decision to include these, and how important do you think accessibility is to your shows?
That's happened. Well, it's really important because you want everybody to be able to come, which is a really good title.
Yes, but noted down for next year.
Yeah, but you do, and our venue is accessible. Has a wee lift as well, which is great. I'm so chuffed.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it does. It's hard to do that in the Fringe, and not every venue can do that. But I'm glad that the one I'm in does. It's a lovely converted church. It's what God would have wanted. Me on stage. We started doing the BSL thing a long time ago. I can't remember how it came about, whether they approached us or we approached them, but Catherine King, she is the same person that's done it for many, many, many years. And honestly, they are some of the funniest shows because I'm not used to sharing a stage with someone. And the great thing is, no matter what I say, she has to do it. Can you imagine the power? Can you imagine the power? So
I'm
then
sure you
just
make the most
say,
of that.
but it's quite funny because someone doing sign language is funny. I mean, she apparently, according to the deaf community, they have told me after the show, she is one of the funniest ones they've seen signing because she understands the nuance of a joke. She doesn't just describe the joke literally. She translates what the joke is actually about. So that's you incredible. Can go, he's laughing about this and making a parody of this. She explains it really well. And she's the same person I've had for years. So, no, I'm really chuffed. I think we do 2 during the Fringe. And,
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's great. And we've done that for years. And I really look forward to it because, when you're doing a run in the Fringe, you need something to change it up a little bit. And those ones are quite fun. And sometimes I'll send her the script. People don't think there is one, but there is. And I'll send her it. And I'll think, oh my God, how is she going to describe that? All right, yeah, wee Jay. So it's sometimes, it's quite funny when you end up with more comedy in the show. So I like it because, it means everyone can come, but it also means it gives the show an extra element of unpredictability.
I also enjoy that because as much as BSL is a language in and of itself, there are colloquialisms to every signer. So the way that they do things and present is incredible. When you so I love comedy, that's why we're doing it. And a lot of people have started doing BSL and ASL and things like that. And there's slight differences between languages. If you watch one set to the next, if someone's traveling, the way that the signs go are slightly different or interpreted differently.
There's American BSL.
Yep.
And British BSL, there's probably Scottish BSL.
Probably. Scottish BS, there's no L.
Exactly. I mean, does anyone else in the world mention bridies?
No, definitely not.
Can you imagine, what's the sign language for bridies? Surely it's not just bride. See, sometimes I just guess the sign language and I turn around, I go, let's play a game called I'll do it first. And then I'll guess the sign language and turn around, and sometimes it's not a kick in the arse away from what I've said. And then when I say that, she has to kick something in the arse, and I can't not stop laughing because she has to translate literally what I've just said.
Yep. So that's actually a really good thing. So having performed at the Fringe for many years.
I've performed at the Fringe. We've all performed at the Fringe.
I definitely have. I visit many times. I'm a top
do
guest.
A show called Edinburgh Fringe. Wouldn't that be great? Why doesn't someone open a little eatery called Edinburgh Fringe?
Yes. Oh, and any performance is cold. You have to come with your parkas, and then you come out in the August heat, and everybody hates you, but you'll be nice and cold inside. You'd be really popular just for the cold room in the middle of the August heat.
Or I could do a line of fans called Fridge at the Fringe.
Yes.
And it's just basically, you want to be cool while you're watching the Fringe? Wouldn't that be great? And then it'd just be a fan where you open it up and it's just my kilt.
Your legs are the
yes. That'd be great. Anyway, I'm sure that's not what you were going to ask.
It wasn't, but I feel like it was a better question. So, how has the festival evolved, and what keeps drawing you back?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's a no-brainer. If you live in Edinburgh and you're a comedian and there's a Fringe on, you'd be daft not to do it. So part of the appeal is that I live in Edinburgh and it's on, it's my job. The other thing is, it's a really good way to connect with your audience. You don't want to disappoint them. If they've been coming for years and they've been enjoying it and they want to come and see you, it's really lovely to make sure you're definitely there for them every single year. And it gives you a reason to write and to tour. So it's motivating. That's what I like about it. It makes you stop and think, right, what's been happening in the last year? What's made me laugh? Let's get this down. So I do it because it's quite motivating. And actually, I think I enjoy the writing of it more than I ever have. It's more detailed now. I spend more time going into the nuance of why things are funny.
Oh, I like that. I like when something has layers. I'm very Shrekky that way.
Because you wouldn't, honestly, you wouldn't believe how some things you go. So I have this term called written to be said, not written to be read. There are things that when you write them, they read well, but they don't sound right.
Yeah.
And then there are things you say on stage, you go, grammatically, that's incorrect, but comedically, that's much funnier. So it's about rhythm. It's almost quite musical, I think, sometimes.
So you've been nominated for the Sir Billy Connolly Spirit of Glasgow Award multiple times.
Yes.
What does a recognition like this mean to you, given obviously you're a Scottish comedian?
It's a big deal because first of all, if Billy Connolly gets to see anything you've done and someone shows him a video of you, you've already won a prize. Because that is amazing. You would never think when you grew up in Scotland that someone would even mention your name to someone as iconic and brilliant and funny as him. And the fact you get nominated is quite a big deal because it's quite they take a lot of comedians, and it's about the spirit of Glasgow as well. So it isn't just, are you the funniest? It's like, do you capture some of the qualities of Glasgow? And that's really flattering because your comedy really does come from where you grew up, and it definitely influences the way you look at life, the things you laugh at. And Glasgow's got a very bawdy, straight-talking, blunt humour that I find very entertaining. And so because it was a Spirit of Glasgow award, I was particularly chuffed because it's about having that sense of humour that you kind of have if you're a bit West Coasty, if you come from Glasgow. Yeah, which is still quite warm, but it's funny and cheeky, very cheeky. So no, it meant a lot. I was really chuffed.
I really love the word chuffed, and you say it so nicely. It's a great word.
Chuffed is you're right. This is the thing I love about stand-up comedy, especially in Scotland. We absolutely love our language. Like, we're so fond of our own language. And I really noticed that in an audience. When you say things and you think, well, that word's just funnier because Scottish people have their own version of that word. And there's some things when I'm in London, I think, I can't really say that. That won't make any sense to them. But they get back to Scotland and think, it's a free reign. I can say whatever I want. Minging, there's a great one.
Minging. My other favourite one is shugle. Shugle is a word. If you say it enough, it doesn't sound like a word.
Do you know what's really funny? That's so funny you brought that up. I met a friend for a coffee this morning and I said, why is there not a drag queen called Sugarly Peg? Wouldn't that be brilliant?
That's so
brilliant?
good.
And he went, oh my God, Sugarly Peg? And I was like, she'd be great, wouldn't she? Sugarly Peg.
Yeah.
Sugar or shooters. Isn't it? Sugar's a good word. And your shooters, there's another one.
Yeah, shooters. And I love my drag persona. I was given mine in Dubai when I was on holiday with work. That's a weird sentence. But I was given the title Nene Leaks. And I'm married to the third. Nene Leaks. I'm married to the third best plumber in town, but I think he's the first, and I have very Mrs. Bouquet energy. So. Oh,
that's nice. I would say I would go and see a show. I would go and see a show called Mrs. Bouquet Energy.
Yes.
It's all about titles. Do you know?
Yeah.
I haven't played that game yet, but I must have a wee look. The Fringe brochure is pretty thick.
Yeah. No.
So I'm more likely to cruise about town and look at the posters. And you should always take a photograph of the titles that you like the most, just to share them, or posters that you just think are beautiful. Or it's a good way to keep a note of who you might want to go and see.
Absolutely, I often do that. I go down to the Cowgate because that's where loads of people just seem to put posters, and I do the poster hunt. Who's got the best poster on the day, or who's putting the most effort out to promote their poster?
I play a different game. I go down the Cowgate and I sign them. I just think it's really funny because I like the idea that someone's taking it home being like, they signed this one, it's special. It's just me.
Did I ever tell you about the lassie who came up to me and flyered me from my own show? She said, comedy, and I went, and I thought about, who is it? And she went, I don't know, Craig Hill. I said, what's he like? She went, apparently he's quite poofy. I said, no, that's not my cup of tea, hen.
Brilliant.
She didn't say poofy. She said he's quite gay. But, for that version of the story, it's funnier.
It is funnier.
She was a bit rude.
Speaking of what makes something funnier, who or what are some of your biggest comedic influences?
Yeah, it's interesting. So there's a few. Ross Noble, I think, is one of the best improvisers I've ever seen. He can absolutely remember everything an audience says and string it all together at the end. So I like watching his brain go when it goes. Jason Byrne has a really similar kind of high energy to me. Irish comedian, and he's wild and he's just on for the whole hour. I love watching that motorboat of comedy, and and on TV I think it was Victoria Wood, because that was just brilliant writing and good stand-up and funny. Just she paid so much attention to detail when it came to use of language and words that were inherently funny. So, Victoria Wood's a big influence. I hadn't really realised that until years later, and I thought, she really influences the rhythm and the delivery of my comedy.
Fantastic. I like that. I'd never really considered what I looked at and influenced where I store jokes, because we all have those things like Neil where you just pull it out all the time because it's funny. And my big thing is language. I love language. So I'm probably in a similar boat.
Well, it's funny because we think about the power of someone like Victoria Wood and Julie Walters. I don't know why the gays have particularly attached themselves to Victoria Wood and Julie Walters, but it's because it's classic, brilliant, well-written, well-performed, very funny comedy. So it's easy to impersonate. So even to this day, my friends still quote from sketches from 20 years ago because it was, because it was really funny.
Yeah.
I'm in my head, I'm trying to think of I don't know, I can't think of them, but they're just usually kind of funny lines from shows, and my friends use them all the time in normal circumstances, like just in the middle of a normal day when they're ordering something.
So going beyond the Fringe, what has been your biggest moment in comedy?
Do you mean in comedy? Yeah. I think it was when we went to Australia and they didn't tell us where we were performing, and then it turned out to be the Sydney Opera House. And I don't think, as a young Scottish person from East Kilbride, you would ever imagine that could happen. So
I don't think I'd be let into the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah, it was exciting just to go to Australia, never mind anything else. And then when they said, we're doing the kind of preview, everyone's got 5 minutes each. And I said, where's it on? And they were like, the Sydney Opera House. I was like, no way. No, in the Sydney Opera House. So just, to play such an iconic building is quite a big thing in your life. The other thing is Just for Laughs. I don't know if you know about that, but it's in Montreal, and it's quite a prestigious comedy festival. And I didn't realise you have to be invited. You can't just go. So it was a big deal when they invited me over. And that's how I got Australia, and that's how I got South Africa. So it's a really good exposure. Because, sometimes they assume, do you think that Scottish person is going to work well internationally? Does it not only just work in Scotland? And then they see it working in Canada, and they go, turns out it travels.
It travels.
So, yeah, really, those are great opportunities. Those really stay in my head. That and doing a gig in Kuala Lumpur in a tropical rainstorm. Like a comedy gig.
In a shrinking kilt as it just creeps higher. So.
Yeah. Some of the gigs you do, you wouldn't believe. You're on a rooftop in Bali, overlooking the water down the Sloss, and they've given us 2 bedrooms, and each one has a 6-man jacuzzi. And I was like, Dan, what? How did we end up with this life? This is wonderful. And it was just a comedy gig on top of a nice posh hotel in Bali. And I thought, well, you never complain about that, because that's
no, definitely not.
You would expect in lads. So it's great. You would never imagine comedy could take you all over the world, and I've definitely ended up with a nicer life because of it, and a more exciting, challenging, varied life with lots of fun opportunities. So I never take it for granted. I'm so chuffed.
So everyone I interview leaves an anonymous note for the next person. It can be anything from a question to a piece of advice, or just something that you live by. The last person I spoke to said, "Don't put substance on the back burner of perception. Your quality and your truth is your most important." So what's one thing that you would like to pass on or ask?
Good question. What would I like to ask or pass on? Oh, well, I'm going to assume it's, okay, this is for somebody young who's a comedian. This is would be my advice. My advice would be, remember, they're coming into your world. You're not going into their world. So don't half-ass your world. Commit to it and do it. Don't get nervous. Get excited. Look forward to it.
It's one of the best answers I've had. Really like that. Yeah.
That's the one. That's what I would say, because you can often plague yourself with insecurities, and everybody has those. But your mindset before you go on stage is really important. So you do have to kind of talk yourself into a good place. And I always say that to myself. I say, just remember, look forward to it. You actually like doing this. It's great fun. And that's a really good thing to remember. It's really easy to forget that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
awesome.
you're not you're not going into you're not going into their world. They're coming into yours. So don't apologize for it. Go for it.
That's brilliant. I have aspirations of one day being a brave person and doing some stand-up when I'm a grown-up. I'm always
impressed by anyone that does it, seriously, because
me too.
I remember that feeling. I remember, people persuading me to do it and me thinking, oh my God, why would you do that? It looks terrifying. And then I did it and I went, oh, turns out it's addictive.
That's my problem. Yeah. I have an addictive personality, and I'll give up everything to go and do it if I really fall in love with it.
That's a good thing. If you enjoy it and you get good at it, what's the problem with that? That's good.
I might do one and not the other, though.
Yeah, but honestly, I take my hat off to anyone that gets on stage, because the getting on stage at the beginning is the hardest. That's the hardest thing, to persuade yourself that's okay to do.
Absolutely.
I think that might be our thing next year.
Yeah.
What's that?
That might be our thing for next year, the two of us. We'll pass off
go together. Can you call your show Smilers, please?
Yeah, that's it.
As long as you're buying a ticket.
Yeah.
I can already see the poster. You'll get the tickets just from the smiles.
Oh, that's just amazing. You're just geeing us up too much. I'm not going to fit out of the studio. So.
I didn't know who I was going to see, and then Zoom came up, and I thought, would you look at their faces? They were in my audience. I'd eat them up. Look at their smiley faces.
We're going to have to buy 4 tickets now. We're going to the 2 BSLs. We're going to 2 other ones, just so that we leave feeling this good.
Yep.
Yeah, brilliant. And bring more smilers.
Well, don't you worry. Thanks for this.
Well, thank you very much. You're very welcome.
Thank you for the time. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Fun. And they are, look, with love.
Ah.
They are my favourite T-shirt. All right, thank you very much. Give my love to Five. Give my love to all the students. Say hello. Good luck. What do they study at Five College? Lots of things, or just one thing?
Everything.
We're doing media communications and dipping our toe in a lot of different things on the back of that. So
brilliant. Well, news just in. You've passed.
Excellent.
Thank you. And have a wonderful Fringe.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. I'm quite excited.
We'll see you there.
See you there.
All right. I'm going to see if I can turn this off. And